Hello everyone, welcome to my newer podcast session, Talk with Topper. So today we have a Sia from Delhi, and she is an aspirant of the Law CET 3 years, and her score is 98.32 percentile. So today we will talk to her related to her exam preparation and about her educational background and about everything related to this exam. So first of all, welcome Sia in this podcast session.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, Sias, first just share about your educational background as you are from, as well as, if possible, so why you want to do law.
Okay. So, I have been born and brought up in Delhi.
Okay.
Uh, my background, surprisingly, it's a mix of everything. So, in my 11th and 12th grade, I ended up taking commerce with maths. And
Mm-hmm.
suddenly, I realized, while I was taking up this stream, I was going through my education for those 2 years. I did not find a lot of interest in
Mm-hmm.
accountancy and maths also. And
Mm-hmm.
but on the other hand, economics and business studies were my strong suit. And above all, I really enjoyed literature. And it is,
Okay.
I think, after my 10th grade only, I decided that I want to pursue law. It was something I
Mm-hmm.
was very interested in because since a very young age, I have been
Mm-hmm.
a very confident speaker. So my
Okay.
teachers always pushed me to go for debates.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that was something that really, uh,
Mm-hmm.
interested me a lot. I never left that, until the very end of my school journey. And while also graduating school, I had this in mind that I want to pursue law.
Mm-hmm.
So I even gave the CLAT at that time, but since we were the unfortunate COVID batch, I did not
Oh.
get a very good rank. It was too
Mm-hmm.
much chaos. Our, you know, 12th grade went on for more than a year, and everything
Mm-hmm.
was very uncertain. And
Mm-hmm.
with that, and having no one to guide me, nobody in my family had taken up law before. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a very new field for me and for my family, and everyone we knew, and the times were also very uncertain. So I, in a very short period of time, I did not even have a lot of clue about the exam. I gave the CLAT and I appeared for the AILET as well. I
Mm-hmm.
got a very bad rank, somewhere
Not
the
worry, not
20,
worry.
20, 30,000s, and I
Oh.
didn't get into a good college. But
Mm-hmm.
somewhere inside, I knew that I wanted to pursue law at the end of the day. So I thought I'll do my graduation and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll pursue law. So that is what happened. I got through Delhi University. I have studied English honors. I've graduated.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my bachelor's in that, and
Okay.
I completed my graduation and I appeared for the MHCET, and
Mm-hmm.
I prepared for that. So somewhere at the back of my head, I always knew those 3 years that I wanted to prepare for these exams.
Mm-hmm.
For the exams that targeted the 3 year LLB course. So that, and as I mentioned earlier, that my love for debating and
Mm-hmm.
everything that really pushed me towards that career, and I felt like law.
Have you watched the High Court Supreme Court proceeding?
I have
Which is
not actually.
because that
I
is also very interesting for the student those who are want to become a lawyer in the future. So,
Sir, actually, I would like to mention that
mm.
this is going to sound, many students are going to relate to this. But after
Mm-hmm.
the 10th boards, there is a web series I ended up watching called Suits.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about corporate law, and even though it's not based in India, it's
Mm-hmm.
American law and Harvard graduates and everything. But that really fancied me a lot. I think that
Okay.
is where and from that point onwards, I don't think I ever considered becoming an advocate. I never
Mm-hmm.
considered going into a courthouse and cases that are. But in fact, the whole corporate law aspect really got to me, and I
Mm-hmm.
started researching a lot about it. And even
Yes,
now,
yes. Just I'm coming to this part. So basically, in future, what is your goal? You want to practice in a court or litigation, or you want to make your career in a corporate law? So this
I
was my next question exactly.
so as mentioned, I want to make my career in corporate law. There
Mm-hmm.
have been many inspiring people around me who have pursued a corporate law, family, friends, or people have done well, and
Mm-hmm.
also IPR. And, there nowadays, I feel like, especially one more thing, sir, that I would like to mention is that in the COVID or in the lockdown, we
Mm-hmm.
witnessed a lot of shutdowns of careers. Many careers
Hmm.
were shut down, and we realized, and also with the coming up of artificial intelligence, AI, there are many jobs
Right.
at risk. A lot of employers are laying off their employees, and so being a 20-year-old person, a 20-year-old citizen of the country, of
Hmm.
a world citizen rather, you need to make a right choice in what sort of career you pick, because since you're investing so much time, so much money, and so many years, you
Hmm.
should also pick a career that gives you job security. That's something that will never go out of fashion, is what I like to.
Right, right,
And
right.
law is something that is non-negotiable. You can
Hmm.
never not have law. A country cannot function without a law, even if it's companies, or if it's anything,
Right, right. Perfect.
any field you pick, there is law.
So early age, you learn a lots of thing as per your communication. I can understand. So I'm thinking why you not aiming in litigation or in a court basically, because as you said, you are good in a debate something. So I think that is a good field for you. By the way, it's just my
Yeah.
suggestion, and
No,
I'm just
I
kidding.
am not I'm not completely restricting myself at the moment. I would really like to explore the opportunities, but at
Perfect.
the moment, corporate is something I'm more inclined towards.
Great, great, great. Okay, so now coming to the next part. So now hope so ki those who are watching this podcast, so it will be clear ki about Shia background and what she's thinking about in a future. So now come to the exam point of view. So there is a four section basically, right? So English, reasoning, and GK, as well as one more section, which is what? English, reasoning, legal, and GK. Okay, so which one is easy for you and which one is difficult for you, basically, if you can mention?
So, given my graduation, my
Hmm.
bachelor's degree in English, English
Hmm,
was
hmm,
the
hmm, hmm.
easiest subject. I've always been really good at it. I've had a good hand over it. And, English was the easiest. I felt like that was one section I really did not prepare a lot for.
Right.
My preparation for English relied completely on the mock tests. So,
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
like, for example, even in school, I used to have a very good practice of giving Olympiads. And I
hmm,
used to do
hmm.
very well at them as well. Even my vocabulary, my speaking skills were very good. So I
Right.
definitely had an edge there. And pursuing a bachelor's honors degree there, obviously, like I felt like English was the easiest.
Hmm, hmm,
I
hmm.
think the one section I struggled with the most was GK.
GK.
GK,
Most of the students face the difficulty in this section.
yes. I felt like, actually, I think I might be answering one of your future questions, but
Hmm,
uh, I felt like I actually started my preparation a year in advance.
hmm, hmm,
So at that time, the only thing I started with was GK, because I always knew that GK is not my strongest suit, and that is
hmm,
something
hmm, hmm.
that I have to work on. And the thing with GK is that it's a little unpredictable.
Unpredictable as well as it's a vast because
It's
so
very
many
vast.
things is there. It means all schooling subject like history, geography, polity, economy, everything is included in it, as well as current affairs you have to focus.
Yes. So that
Uh,
you don't have a set syllabus for it.
hmm, hmm,
That is
hmm,
something I struggled with the most, I feel. Other two things, legal and logical,
hmm, hmm,
were not so difficult for me. Legal, I used to read a lot. I used to go through the acts. I'm also very, I'm an avid reader. So
hmm,
sitting,
hmm.
reading and learning was not a problem for me.
Right.
So I went through all the laws and everything that I needed to learn for that. And I attempted questions, so that, knowing the questions or attempting mock tests
Hmm,
was something
hmm,
that
hmm.
really helped me prepare for legal and for English as well, because time management, then comprehensions, and
Right.
comprehensions can be tricky. I think English, may if there was one thing that I had to practice a lot, was comprehensions, because
Comprehension.
the options can be very tricky. It can
Right. Right.
also be one question, but one option, but it can also be the other one. So,
Because to solve the comprehension type of the question, your vocab as well as reading speed
yes,
should be very sharp.
agreed. So I think practice really helped me there. Legal
Hmm,
was sorted. Logical was something I was really struggling with in the beginning. Like when I started attempting the mocks, I remember
hmm,
I scored somewhere in the 80s. And I was
hmm,
taken
hmm.
back because I was like, मेरे को तो सब आता है, ये क्या हो गया?
चलो.
GK I expected, but logical was something I was like, what? But then eventually I feel the more you practice, the more
Right,
mocks you
correct,
give.
perfect, perfect, perfect point you are raising.
Yes. Apart from just getting the answer right, you can actually, questions are not as tricky. एक बार ही आपको समझ आ जाए कि ऐसे क्वेश्चन को ऐसे अटेम्प्ट करना है, you can easily find the answer. But the challenge here is the time. You
Right,
just,
time management.
yeah. So having, that time limit and that clock ticking on your head is something that you need to manage for logical. And surprisingly, when our we got our answer scripts and we could raise the objections, I realized I only got two wrong in logical. So I was really happy because beginning from, getting hardly 10 correct in that section, I just went on to having two wrong.
Okay, okay. Now coming to the next questions, basically, as you said, you already prepared earlier, you started the preparation for the CLAT. So when you started seriously for this MH Law CET 3 years?
So I think a year in advance actually.
And
I was
before
somewhere
one
in
year.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it was little more than 1 year when I started preparing because actually pursuing an honors degree, you have to be consistent with college also. And I
Right,
have
right.
good academic background, so I had to maintain that. I had to attend classes also. So thinking the fact that in the end, instead of missing college for 6, 7 months straight, I should just start preparing in advance. And that way, actually, I did not compromise on having a personal life also. So every day I used to sit for 2, 3 hours. Doesn't have to be continuously. It was spread across my day, and I used to start with GK, maybe legal. So every day I used to do two sections where GK was a must, and I started preparing like that. And by the end of it, I think the last 1.5 month was the time where I was just doing MHCET preparation, just doing preparing for my entrance exam. Other than that, it was really smooth sailing for me. I had no issues. I was managing my time well. I think the key for me was consistency. Since I had
Consistency is the
a lot
key of
of
success.
time, yes, I had a lot of time on my hands, so I completed my syllabus well in advance. I started with my mock tests. I started going through books that had those MCQs. So it was really helpful. I think if I wouldn't have started preparing early, I wouldn't have done this well in the
So very
exam.
great point you are raising here for the aspirant, those who are planning for the next year. So just be consistent. So end of the day, you have to not to worry, and you doesn't need to hamper your personal life also,
Agree.
because if earlier you targeted, and on a daily basis, if you will manage the someone manage the time, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, okay. Next question is there, how you come to know about the maneuver?
So actually, the moment you go on YouTube and you search MHCT, Law
Right.
or LLB, manure is the first page that comes up.
Everywhere you can see the maneuver.
Yes, I got my mocks from Manure as well, and they were very helpful. As I mentioned, in the beginning, I got like somewhere around 80 marks in my first mock test. And as I was, I think on the 10th mock test, I reached up to 100. And by the
Great,
end of it,
great, great.
I was reaching out somewhere around 105, 107. And when my answer script came and I could see how many I got wrong, how many I got correct. So I think I got about 125 correct in those. So mock tests were, major helpful, and even the YouTube videos, like it because
Have you watched my videos for the GK?
okay, I was giving the exams like I watched this video, I watched this in the video. Like the important questions that you
Right, right.
used to put up, I could, track them. Okay, this is, and especially I think in one of the maneuver videos, I saw this. Um, I think it was either you or Dev sir, and you were telling how there is a lot of focus on static GK also.
Correct, correct. I already guided in my GK video
Yes, yes.
how you
So,
can manage the time, how you can
yes.
start the which section first, and how you can manage the time as per the different section
Different,
also.
exactly. So that was really helpful because, as I mentioned earlier, for someone like me who has no guidance, so I don't have a senior or someone to ask, or I didn't have any contact, someone who's been through these examinations, this journey. So it felt like I had some guidance. I had a, guiding partner through all of this, like a guiding
Correct, correct.
guide. I also like, if I used to have any doubt, especially after the result came out, I used to always message the WhatsApp number, and they have been very helpful. Even the comments on the YouTube channel, and I feel
Right.
most of the times I didn't even have to raise queries; they were already covered in the videos.
Right, right. From our end, we always try to resolve all the questions and queries related to the exams and related to the preparations. And because continue, we are observing the students' problems, okay,
Mhm.
in our video as well as others' video. So what the exactly student are facing. So according to that problem solving video, we will,
Hmm.
it's in our habit. So we post the videos, such type of the video, which can resolve the problem of the student. Now coming to the next question, which is very important. So as you said, key from first mock test to 10 mock test, your marks already increase. So most of the student and those who are watching this podcast, उनके लिए भी basically मेरा suggestion है कि जो first mock test में demotivate हो जाते हैं कि okay 80 आया 70 आया 60 आया आगे क्या होगा. So आपकी जो ये जर्नी थी फ्रॉम 80 टू 105 110, इफ यू कैन एक्सप्लेन कि जो लोग डिमोटिवेट हो जाते हैं और हाउ यू कैन इम्प्रूव इट, इट मींस उसके लिए क्या काम किया.
So I think that demotivation factor is very prominent because
हम्म.
when we sit for mock test, it's very close to the exam. And we feel
राइट.
like we have done all our preparation. And when we get such a score, we're like, koi college ही नहीं मिलेगा इसमें तो.
हम्म.
But I think the most crucial part is that practice is the key.
राइट.
Practice makes a man perfect.
ओ
And
प्रैक्टिस
when
इज,
you give,
यस.
I feel someone's true preparation starts when they give their first mock test. That's
हम्म.
what I feel. Before that, you were just doing your background study. You're just
राइट.
mentally preparing yourself. But mock test is the time where you actually start your preparation, because then you can assess ki this is where I lack, this is what I'm good at, this is
हम्म.
a question, or maybe like for example, I remember in my initial mock test, those family relation questions, they
हम्म.
used to really, like I used to get very confused. But now, after giving the mock tests, I realized, okay, this is my weakness. Instead of focusing on English, which is a very strong suit for me, I focused on logical.
करेक्ट.
So
करेक्ट.
they really help you assess the whole SWOT analysis. That is what it is. And my journey from first mock test to 10th mock test is, I think, I used to give a mock test. And
हम्म.
when the result used to come, like the correct and the incorrect answer used to show up, I used to go through those. And
राइट.
whatever questions I attempted incorrectly, I used to solve those again. Or
ग्रेट
if-
ग्रेट बिकॉज इट्स कॉल्ड द रियल
Yes,
एनालिसिस.
yes. And eventually, I think after some time, you'll just see that if not all those questions, two or three questions would be repeated.
हम्म.
If I'm not saying like direct questions, but if, for example, like a certain question pattern or a question
राइट. राइट.
type will be repeated, and you would sort of like have an idea how the exam is going to come.
हम्म.
So it is very important to do that, and to constantly keep yourself motivated. And I feel like if anybody is feeling demotivated, just give yourself 5 mock tests, and after that you'll see your score improve.
हम्म. Right, right. So initially, if someone is fearing कि marks less आ रहा है, so we should what they should do. So at least gradually they should to focus
Yes.
on weak area.
Mm.
After attempt the mock test, then analyze where they are not able to get a good marks. So just try to work on a such type of the topic. So basically, this is the main work of the mock test. So
Yeah.
someone can evaluate themselves, their weak area, their strong area, where they are not performing well. So they should to work on it, and which type of the question if they are not able to solve, so just try to learn the trick for, right. So this is the basically role of the mock test. And next thing, because today most of the students are facing there's a different type of the distraction in their preparations. ये बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम बन चुकी है आज के एरा में, चाहे वो सोशल मीडिया हो या फिर एनी अदर थिंग्स हो. सो इन योर लाइफ, इन योर प्रिपरेशंस, चाहे वो स्कूलिंग से लेके कॉम्पिटेटिव एग्जाम के प्रिपरेशंस हो, so is there was any distraction? If yes, so what was your basically strategy to overcome from such type of the distraction? या फिर छोटी से छोटी distraction हो, आजकल जैसे होता है ना, मोबाइल चला लिया, इंस्टाग्राम चला लिया, और भी बहुत सारी चीजें. ऐसे कुछ सजेशन आप दे पाओ, बिकॉज टॉपर्स के कुछ अपने अलग स्ट्रैटेजी होती है, ऐसा मैं मानता
I think I have been through this when I gave my CLAT. I
हूँ.
did not have a good exam. I did not give a good attempt. So uh, somewhere I felt like distractions will always be there.
राइट.
There are some distractions that you can just not avoid. Like, for example, I was in college So there
Mm-hmm.
used to be those fests also. You want to go, you want to attend those fests, you want to join college societies, you want to go out with your family. Uh,
Right, right.
like for example, you get little conscious, maybe you want to join the gym. So
Mm-hmm.
distractions will always be there. And for me, I thought the best way is to manage both of them. Like I didn't like that is what I said, that I started my preparation a year in advance कि अगर कोई
Mm-hmm.
distraction हो भी जाए तो I won't have to sacrifice on my studies. That is always my funda. Like if there's an assignment due, I'll make sure I get it done beforehand, or I'll start the day I get it, so that
Mm-hmm.
there is nothing that will eventually stop me from giving the best assignment or giving the best exam, because मेरी तैयारी तो हो चुकी है.
Right, right. So great discussion here we did with the Shia. It means ki about her educational background, most specifically related to exam destruction, mock test preparation strategy. Now the my final questions with you ki for example just imagine because अभी नई नई गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म हुई है, अभी इलेक्शन हुआ है, and if you become the law minister because you are law aspirant, right? So after some time you will be lawyer, आपके पास डिग्री होगी, it may be कि आप शायद से जुडिशरी भी ट्राई कर सकते हैं, as you said कि अभी आई एम नॉट बाउंडिंग माई सेल्फ एनी पर्टिकुलर प्रोफेशन. सो मान लो हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन, सबसे बड़ा रोल मिल गया लॉ मिनिस्टर का, ठीक है, तो व्हाट रिफॉर्म यू वांट इन इंडियन जुडिशरी सिस्टम बेसिकली?
That is a very difficult question, because
Is it?
it is, because there are so many things I want to do.
Oh, that's great. Any two, three, four, or five
Uh,
point if you can raise in on priority.
okay. So I think one of the first and foremost things I would do is to ensure stricter laws
Mm,
for like penalties
correct.
for rapes, for
Mm-hmm.
assaults, because I feel like that is something that, being a woman especially,
Right, right.
every day you read the newspaper, you'll find at least two incidents. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is one of the reasons why many women actually opt for corporate law, because they
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's a safer option,
Great.
because courts are, you can say, they are, the majority is men, and women don't
Mm.
really feel safe there. And
Right, right.
it's just a beginning that I'm taking, and I feel like
Mm.
uh, I just want to make our country more safer for women, and it cannot be done unless and until very strict rules are imposed.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Restrict
one
rule and
thing.
equality.
Equality, agreed. And I feel like our government already has taken many steps to, curb
Mm-hmm.
the issue of, any sort of differences there are.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then, of course, I would love to work on the education sector. And
Perfect. Perfect.
like as we said, the new government has been formed. Also, we should not, reject the fact that there is an NEP, the new education
Mm-hmm.
policy,
Mm-hmm.
and people have different opinions. Some are in favor, some are not in favor.
Right.
So I would, that is something that I would also like to work upon. Like, being a student from Delhi University has always been very famous for providing affordable education.
Right. Right.
But as of recent times, we are seeing many protests because the fees are being raised, many teachers are being laid off. So that is something that I want to work upon, so that higher education is more convenient and people can,
Mm-hmm.
because our nation is nothing if not educated citizens. So that is
Mm-hmm.
something that I want to work on. And apart from that, I think another thing that I would love to work for is minorities and
Mm-hmm.
having safeguarding their interests. So
Wow, that's great.
be it people from minority religions, or
Mm-hmm.
people from, other backward classes, SCs, STs. Apart from providing, I think, reservations, there is so much more that we can do. There
Mm-hmm.
has been a lot of debate going on recently where people are saying that the minorities don't feel safe in our own nation.
Mm-hmm. And they
But
are also fearing some legal type of the provision as per
exactly.
the
So that
like
is something that I
CA.
want to work upon, because India has always been, भारत जिसे कहते हैं,
Right,
वो
right.
ऐसा देश है जो माना जाता है जहाँ सब की,
Diversity,
होती है,
unity in diversity.
diversity. हाँ जी. We all come from various backgrounds, religions,
Mm-hmm.
beliefs, cultures. And if we start following the whole erasure method, if we start erasing our own history, our own heritage, then we are not Bharat after all.
That's
So I
great
think
point you initiated here. So I'm very happy to talk to you related to such type of the topic and wishing ki I'm also thinking ki you will do something big in your future.
but I hope so. That is what I aim to do.
Okay, great, great, great. Any final suggestion for the new aspirant in short कि क्या क्या एकदम
Hmm.
do and does में explain कर पाओ?
Okay, so I think the first thing that I would like to say is that please do not take it lightly. Because
Hmm.
बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि MHCT is a very easy exam. So do
Right.
not take it lightly. Start your preparation in advance. And advance is very important because then you get to manage everything and you don't, you're not cramming up everything in the end.
Hmm.
And then another thing is just be consistent.
Right.
Be
Right.
consistent, analyze your weak points, do a lot of mock tests, do as many questions as you can, time
Hmm.
yourself, and I think you're good to go because that's all what I did, and I think I did a decent job.
Right.
So that's all I'd like to say.
So basically, consistency as early as possible they can start and continue after preparations. The mock test is very important for evaluation purpose. Any role of the classes?
So classes, I feel like classes are important. They are very
Hmm.
important because then you basically get to know ki, what am I supposed to study.
Right.
And for most of the students, they can't get around that fact. They beat around the bush, but उन्हें पता ही नहीं चलता कि उन्हें
Hmm.
पढ़ना क्या है. So classes and study material is very important for that purpose. So that you are guided in the right direction. Because MHCT, apart from GK, other things you can practice.
Right. Right.
The things are very predictable. So for that, classes and having someone guide you or having a set study material is very important for that.
It can save a lots of time for
It
the
can save a
preparation.
lot of time, and also it will give you a lot of confidence. You have someone to like clear your doubts from, and
Hmm.
basically someone to give you direction. And that is
Right.
very important for entrance exams because you cannot waste time.
करेक्ट करेक्ट स्पेसिफिकली कॉम्पिटिटिव स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मेरा एक सजेशन है जैसे एज यू सेड ना कि डायरेक्शन सो
Hmm.
इसके लिए एक छोटी सी स्टोरी मैं बता रहा हूँ इस स्टोरी के साथ हम इस डिस्कशन को एंड करेंगे सो बेसिकली फॉर एग्जांपल दो स्विमर है दोनों काफी अच्छे स्विम कर सकते हैं और दोनों का ऐसे इस तरह से हमने सी में डाल दिया एक को डायरेक्शन पता है कि किस डायरेक्शन में जाना है तो वो पूरे एफर्ट के साथ स्विम करेगा और फाइनली वो जो किनारे तक पहुंच जाएगा और दूसरा है अगर से उसको बहुत अच्छी स्विमिंग आती है बहुत हार्ड वर्किंग है एकदम पूरा 100% अपना दे रहा है बट ही डजेंट नो द राइट डायरेक्शन तो एक टाइम तक वो चल के फिर क्या होगा कि डूब जाएगा क्योंकि ही डोंट नो द डायरेक्शन एग्जैक्टली तो ये थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट होता है इफ समवन विल स्टार्ट देयर प्रिपरेशन अंडर द गाइडेंस ऑफ द एक्सपर्ट फैकल्टी जो ऑलरेडी अपीयर किए हैं और जिन्होंने ऑलरेडी एग्जाम्स लिखा है और डिफिकल्टी लेवल को अंडरस्टैंड किया टाइप ऑफ द क्वेश्चन को तो ये काफी बेटर हो जाता है आपका टाइम और एफर्ट दोनों बच जाता है so thank you, Sia, to come here to share your point of view. I'm very happy to talk to you and lots of point you raise here and hope so. These all the concern, all the suggestion, all the points will be helpful for the new aspirant, those who are planning for the next year. Any final comments? And after that, we will end the.
First of all, thank you, sir. And the only thing that I would like to say right now is that
Hmm.
it's a full circle moment for me.
Hmm.
Because I remember one day before my exam, I was day one, slot one. I
Hmm.
was very anxious. I was, the questions I knew मैं उन्हें भी गलत कर रही थी. And the only
Ah,
thing that gave me motivation was watching these topper podcasts. And I can't imagine that I'm here. I used to
oh, great.
literally manifest. That's how I keep myself positive. And I think that is also very important when you're preparing for an exam. Don't take it as a stress.
Stress नहीं लेना है.
Physical and mental health are very important. And as
Very.
long as both of them are in check, both of them are as they should be, then there's
Hmm.
nothing stopping you.
सो जाते जाते काफी वैल्यूएबल इंफॉर्मेशन से यानी यहाँ पे मेंशन कर दिया कि फिजिकल एंड मेंटल हेल्थ विच इज in today's era this is a very big issue for the students for the working professional in family everywhere so it's not this suggestion is not only for the aspirant it's a message for all लाइफ में कभी भी स्ट्रेस नहीं लेना राइट
Right, sir.
Sure. Great. Nice conversation with you, Sia. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
very
Thanks
much.
for having me.